The Arsenal vs Atletico Madrid predicted lineups for their massive UEFA Champions League semi-final second leg are a lot of fun to think about. As the first leg proved, there is so little between these teams. Both Mikel Arteta and Diego Simeone have some big decisions to make, as Arsenal will feel extra pressure to go for a more attacking lineup, as they are at home and know the onus is on them to come flying out of the traps. But Atletico are used to this kind of situation and always seem to thrive as the underdog and will be extremely dangerous on the counter. Below are the Arsenal vs Atletico Madrid predicted lineups, with analysis on how Arteta and Simeone might do. It seems like Piero Hincapié will come in at left back after being rested at the weekend, while it wouldn't be a surprise to see Christian Mosquera to come in at right back as Ben White has struggled in recent weeks. Martin Zubimendi should come straight back in to start in midfield, despite youngster Miles Lewis-Skelly putting in a great display in midfield at the weekend against Fulham. Martinodegaard is battling to be fit, so he may only be on the bench. In attack it has to be the quartet of Saka, Trossard and Bukayosaka. Saka and Trossard were exceptional at the weekend against Fulham as extra creativity flowed. Having Saka back fully fit is a huge boost for Arsenal in the final few games of the season. Bukayosaka is also in the best form of his season and is leading the line so well, scoring goals and linking up play. Arteta should be brave with his team selection, and this attacking unit has to start. Given that this side is very clearly Atletico's first choice, right now some key absentees include Jose Gimenez, Pablo Barrios, and Nico Gonzalez. It's tough to see Simeone making any changes from the starting sheet from the first leg. All 11 players who started against Arsenal last week were rested from the start in the league at the weekend, so will be fresh and fired up to go. USMNT midfielder Johnny Cardoso should start the second leg, alongside legendary midfielder Coke in a huge game for him to lock down Arsenal's creative hub. While Alex Bina and Thiago Almada are both pushing to be involved, and one of them could come in for Simeone's son, Giuliano Simeone, who was taken off at half-time of the first leg in a tactical switch. It's unlikely that Simeone strays far from his preferred 4-4-2 formation, but he has the flexibility to do that and plenty of versatile players who can adapt depending on the situation. In attack, Alexander Sorloth will be the first player off the bench, and Atletico need a goal, and if he comes on, expect both Alvarez and Griezmann to remain on the pitch and buzz around underneath him. Arsenal vs Atletico Madrid should be a highly entertaining clash, as these two teams fight to book a place in the 2025-26 UEFA Champions League final. The two sides face off once more in the second leg of their UEFA Champions League semi-final at the Emirates Stadium on Tuesday evening. The Arsenal vs Atletico Madrid clash is currently tied 1-1 from the eventful first leg, meaning anything can happen in the upcoming second leg. The Gunners look to make good use of their home advantage to produce a thrilling display to reach the final, while Atletico Madrid looks to oust the odds again with an efficient display to take a step closer to achieving their European dreams. Arsenal vs Atletico Madrid should be a really action-packed game because of how well balanced this tie is following the chaotic 1-1 draw that these two sides played out at the Rio de Metropolitano Stadium the first leg. Arsenal are, of course, still unbeaten in the UEFA Champions League so far this season and have won 10 of their 13 matches, establishing themselves as heavy favourites to finally go all the way and win a European crown in this campaign. However, the Gunners face a challenging task to make the final and must be at their ruthless best to eliminate this Atletico Madrid side. Mikel Arteta's side come into this clash off the back of their thrilling 3-0 thrashing of Fulham the Premier League, and they're eager to fight hard to not only be defensively strong, but also efficient in the final third to put Los Rojiblancos to the sword and get a major win. Atletico Madrid, meanwhile, have just 2 wins from their last 5 matches, and they also lost to Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium La Ligue stage of the 2025-26 UEFA Champions League. Diego Simeone has to hatch a special plan to keep the Gunners' threat neutralised, and needs his players to be at their clinical best in transitions for his side to get a big win. The Gunners and Atletico Madrid still hold 1 win apiece in head-to-head meetings, which makes this upcoming clash an even more exciting one to watch. Bukayosaka seems to have picked up form at the right time in the final stretch of the 2025-26 campaign for Arsenal, and he will have a major responsibility on his shoulders to guide them into the final. The English winger recently put up a splendid show for Arsenal in their win over Fulham, scoring a great goal and also producing a lovely assist. It's now time for Saka to bring that kind of form into the UEFA Champions League for the Gunners. He has 4 goal contributions to goals, 2 assists for Arsenal in the European competition so far this season, and he looks to reserve his best for last. He'll need to be smart with his movement and dribbling skills to trouble the Atletico Madrid backline, and needs to be absolutely nailed on with his final third passes, as well as shooting to elevate Arsenal's attacking threat and cause the Spanish side to buckle under the pressure at the Emirates Stadium. Antoine Griezmann was actually given the Player of the Match award in Atletico Madrid's recent draw against Arsenal, because of how well he ran the show for his side in the high-octane European clash. It's time for the Frenchman to now look to turn back the years and deliver an even more efficient performance at the Emirates Stadium to guide his Atletico side into the final. Griezmann, who has already confirmed that he'll be leaving the club after the end of the season, has 5 goal contributions to goals, 3 assists in the UEFA Champions League so far this season. He'll aim to use his experience to disrupt the Arsenal defensive shape, causing their players to leave gaps that his teammates can pounce on. Griezmann not only has to be unpredictable with his link-up play and final third passes, but much more lethal with his finishing to unlock the Arsenal backline and torment them at their own yard. Arsenal predicted David Raya GK, Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Piero Hincapié, Martin Zubimendi, Declan Rice, Eberechiez, Bukayosaka, Leandro Trossard, Victor Gyökeres. Atletico Madrid predicted Jan Oblak GK, Marcos Llorente, Mark Pubel, David Hanco, Matteo Ruggeri, Giuliano Simeone, Coke, Johnny Cardoso, Ademola Lookman, Antoine Griezmann, Julian Alvarez.